everyone could just check their cell phones, make sure they're on silent, that would be great. Janet texted me earlier, she's stuck in traffic, she will not be at tonight's meeting. Dean also had an issue and will not be at tonight's meeting. Julie's going to go in for him in that position tonight. Acceptance of the minutes. I don't know about you guys, I'll be honest. I just got them today, I have not had time to read them. Still getting caught up since vacation, and I just have a little bit too much stuff going on.
We can table them for a week because
Well, Tuesday's the next meeting.
I also have not a chance to read over some of them.
Kathleen, you're asleep.
Okay. Oh, figures, okay, sorry.
That's fine.
All right, so I'll just approve them next time unless you guys read them and want to do it.
I'm 100% able.
All right, correspondence, Kathleen?
I have a thank you from the town of Walk Hill Boys and Girls Club for the Giving Tree. Budget modification from the Highway Department for the CHIPS money. Petition for municipal consent to extend the service territory of the New York American Water Company, Inc. That is to do with Whitlock Estates. Police petty cash account balance, $200. Complaint answer regarding complaint on 75 Full Road, and the supervisor's report for November. That's all I have.
Thanks, Kathleen. This is that proclamation. Board member reports. What do you got, Don?
Everything's kind of quiet. We had some work done after the sewer plant. We had a pump that went bad. You'll see the bills in there for that this month. Nothing with the old school, except I think we got the contract in the mail today, yesterday.
Oh, I got email to the board members today, for us to look at, and I think David will go over it with us, probably executive session on Tuesday. But if everyone gets a chance to read it, then if you have any questions, we can ask them on Tuesday. Basically, I read through it briefly. There's a couple things that I have concerns on. But in a perfect world, if we put it out, the projected date would be, the closing would be April 15th of 17, which actually works out kind of good. So hypothetically, if we approved it at the next meeting, if the board felt comfortable approving it, and then we immediately do the permissive referendum, which is listed in here. The permissive referendum can be no less than 60, no more than 90 days. So that fits in, Kathleen and I figured it out today, probably somewhere around the 20th to the 25th-ish of March would be the vote. Obviously, depending on how the vote goes, if it goes in favor of Friends of the Oaksville School, then obviously we'll just execute the contract at the proposed date to have the closing. If it doesn't, then obviously we wouldn't do it anyway, because it would be the voters saying not to do it, so. But that's what David had, I guess, talked to their attorney and thought April 15th was a safe date. And it does seem as if we act next meeting, very latest, the first one in February, we're gonna be okay. Just still make that date happen. Sorry, Dominic, I kind of.
That's okay, we're good.
What do you got, Brian?
Got a little of an update on this quest that I've been looking for the, bear with me here a second, for the incorporation of the town. I am now in the town of Deer Park, dealing with the historian down there, because after getting some information from Mount Hope, his historian, and the city of Middletown, actually, the clerk down there helped me. Lynn Burns from the town of Deer Park, I'm talking to her and hope to get a copy of what I'm looking for, and I'll have an update for it on Tuesday. That's all I have there. Devon's Gate, I went down over the weekend and I see that Extreme Concrete was there rebuilding the wall, which was pretty neat. Looks a lot better than what the old wall did, and hopefully it's gonna last a lot longer, but, that's it. Oh, one thing, Paul, I also have a call into Patty at Devon's Gate, because I wanna find out, have you talked to them at all about, and I hate to use it this term, but like collection of drugs again? Remember we said that they were gonna.
No, we haven't
All
spoken to them.
right, I'm gonna reach, I
Yeah,
have a call into her just to see if there's any,
Okay.
what do you call it? That's it, that's all I got.
That,
No report this evening.
perfect. Highway, what do you got, Julie?
Yeah, our guys have been busy, so, that's just an FYI, obviously. Also, Dean wanted us to go over the bid on the loader, and apparently it went to the auction site. The high bid was $31,100, and that closed on the 16th. But in the meantime, someone approached from 4-H and said that they would be able to give us a certified check for $32,000.
Okay, so we're.
And he's recommending that we accept the $32,000, obviously, because the high bid was $31,100.
It's local, we can deliver it. See that? Nice.
Julie, how does it work if someone bids on this site and you can deny it at any
You have-
point, right? All right, no, I'm just, okay.
Yeah, we have right to,
No, I'm just,
to know.
I'm thinking if you like bid on eBay as an example and
Mhm.
they deny you. Okay,
Yeah, like
So-
if Paul put something up and he didn't like what he got.
you can pull it down, yeah, I got it.
I went to my office for one and still forgot it. So.
Page 2, you should have told me term of sale, I would have read that.
Mount Hope Fire. Okay, I had also reached out, I got, Helena's number from Kathleen, shortly after our meeting in December, so it must have been the 6th or the 7th. Had a few residents inquire about how certain funds may or may not have been spent, so I requested from Helena, which when I went back to the contract, it says that by the second month of the following year, you would get a report anyway. So I requested, from January of 15 to date, all accounting records. I have not heard anything back, so I think I'll just send a regular letter. I did leave a voicemail, but obviously, there should be a written documentation, but I did request it, I just haven't heard anything back yet.
Last time that was requested, they denied it though.
Well, but the funny thing is, the contract says that we don't have to ask for it, it's charged to us. But at any rate, police, Paul, what do you got?
Just a couple things. One thing that, really hasn't gotten much, discussion yet, but the governor signed a law that takes effect February 28th, which settles a lawsuit against the state. Basically, they're gonna set up rotating, the chief judge is gonna have to set up rotating arraignment courts for each of the counties outside of New York City. So, just to keep in mind, like in our situation, where we would call out the judge at night, you will no longer do that. You'll have to go to whichever site is selected for that night or week, or they haven't really figured it out yet.
So it could be anywhere in the county?
It could be anywhere in the district, the
Oh.
judicial district. We're assuming that it's gonna be within the county, but the judges have not, or the, chief judge has not made that, designation yet. So this is gonna be a pretty big deal. The basis of it is that the lawsuit dealt with someone not having, legal aid at their arraignment, which typically doesn't happen because we call the judge comes here and there's nobody there. So this will, basically, everybody will be at wherever this site is. Now, they haven't even determined where or how it's gonna work. Is it gonna include town judges, just county judges, city judges? So the other piece of it could be, we could be hosting it for a night or a week, and again, they haven't even gotten those details.
So, but potentially.
Potentially, we could have to bring people.
But we could
sometime.
wait 3 hours to have the person arranged, or 4 hours, or 5 hours to get the place.
You might have, you might have to sit there, all night, or, yeah, I mean, I doubt that happening in Orange County, but that's a possibility. So, just something to keep in mind, and I'm sure, the judges won't be happy if they're picked to be a host for the night or the week. Again, a lot of these details aren't out. It was Senate Bill 7209 or Senate Bill 10360, and, they said there was, actually, I read it, and when they said cost impact, they said 0. So I don't know what, where they came up with that. Maybe 0 to the state of New York, but certainly not to everybody else. So that's just something to keep in mind as we move forward.
Now, when we arrange somebody, do they have to have like their clerk and everybody there, or is it just the judge?
Yeah, it's just, currently it's just the judge, typically at night, and that's the case everywhere in Middletown. So now, the lawsuit involves someone that was arraigned and didn't have legal representation at the arraignment. So sued saying that violated the Supreme Court, saying you were entitled to legal representation. So, this kind of resolves the settlement. So now, there'll have to be someone from the district attorney's office there, there'll be someone from legal aid there, so all these other pieces will be in place. So, and New York City's been doing this forever, so this will be the first time it's being done outside the lines. So Hurrell, Hurrell, hyphen Haring, Harring versus the state of New York is the original lawsuit, and they settled it. So again, just something to keep in mind as we move forward into next year.
I have a question. Does the arresting officer have to bring the person to the arraignment?
Not necessarily the arresting officer, somebody will have to.
Well, let's say, is there a way we could cost share this with the county or some other larger entity that they take them from Mount Hope to this designated location and then back or
Possibly.
wherever, so this way it's.
The chief judge for the state of New York has said that he's gonna have stakeholder meetings to try to work these things out. Certainly, the police chiefs have compiled a long list of questions that they have.
Yeah, I figure with Deer Park, they're gonna have the same issue as us. There's
Yeah, most places will, most places will be. I mean, for the cities, it won't be as, you know.
The sheriff's
but-
only transport after their,
Yeah, there was a bill actually that the irony is, so the judges complained, the state magistrates were in favor of this bill, so the judges really shouldn't have any complaints, because they were actually in favor of the bill also. But the cities, even in Port Jervis, I know I saw one of the responses from Port Jervis dealing with, hey, we have lockups, so does this mean we can just leave our people in our lockups and arraign them the next day like we normally do, or are we gonna be forced to take part in this? And that's the same situation with Middletown and Newburgh. They have lockups, so they don't care, they don't do arraignments in the middle of the night. They just stay until the judge comes in the next day. So, we're not even sure how that's gonna shake out, no one has answered that question yet. Port Jervis, which is probably gonna be more cost factor, because they're saying on a busy weekend, they can arrest anywhere from 15 to 20 people. So, does that mean that they're gonna have to say, in theory, Woodbury this week is designated as the arraignment spot? Does that mean they have to drive 15 or 20 people to Woodbury? What's the time, what's the cost? So again, all these things have to be hashed out, and although the law takes effect February 28th, evidently, it doesn't mean it has to be in place. That means it's supposed to be in the works, I guess, is what they're saying. So again, something that will be unfolding as the year goes on, and we'll keep you up to date as that moves forward. The next thing is Dr., I don't know how she pronounces her name, it's Santikul, Santikul, who is from Orange Regional Medical Center, has agreed to be our doctor. We are, I know some back and forth, the firemen had some questions and concerns about who our doctor reviewing our cases were gonna be. So she has agreed to do that for us. She works in the emergency room. She also, currently, she is the doctor for the Mount Hope Fire Department, so it should be a seamless transition, I'm assuming, as we move forward. The last thing is, and I sent you an email about it yesterday, looking to hire Stephen Hayes. He is, resident of Slate Hill. He is an Army veteran, served in Afghanistan, is currently a New York City fireman. He is certified. We did the checklist, everything, as we discussed, has been done other than the drug screening, which, we can't do until he's offered a conditional, appointment. His fingerprints came back, never been arrested, he had no history, everyone spoke highly of him, so.
Did we hire him before?
We hired his brother, Michael.
Okay.
Michael, this is Stephen, yeah, this is his brother.
I have one question for you.
Sure.
I know we've hired a lot of new police officers lately. Like, is it possible, and this is just a suggestion from one person, me, maybe to like bring them to a board meeting so we can actually meet them? 'Cause I met a police officer in town the other day. I didn't have any idea, so.
Yeah, sure.
Just asking.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
listen, I don't
that's-
know if that's something that's ever been done before, but I was just wondering, and I realized, like, when I read your thing, I realized this guy has a schedule, you know, that he does
Mhm.
something else, and I get
Yeah,
that, but.
Sure. Yeah, so for,
Suggestion.
we can, I mean, we meet every 2
You
weeks.
met with him already, right?
I did.
Yeah, Chad interviewed him yesterday, but you're talking about just generally after the fact
Yeah,
to
yeah.
come and say hello to
When they get
everybody.
hired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a problem. If it's not the next meeting, it can be within a meeting or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and, yeah, so that's it, all I have. Let's see, that's everything else. All right, thank you.
Okay. Village of Oakville, I see. Got anything about it?
Not really.
So I did touch on it when Dominic was bringing it up. Everyone has the contract, so if you have a chance over the weekend to go over it, Tuesday, hopefully we'll sit with David. We'll talk about that. Bob, I talked to you about the graffiti on the, so there's questions as if they, see if they can get some of the graffiti off the back. It's not new, it's very, very old graffiti. So I don't really have a problem with that. Just moving a few things along, but obviously we have a meeting in 4 days, but I'll be working on the appointment list, and I'll also be working on board jobs, if you will, for 2017. We got a lot of different things. I've had a lot of residents ask, well, who's in charge of this, or who's in charge of that? So what I'd like to do, in the beginning of the meetings when we do board member reports, we may have to abbreviate it or whatever, but whatever committees you're on, I'm gonna have like up there next to your name. So if there's something going on with Hidden Valley, everyone should know that, you know, and on the website, everyone's listed too. So I'm gonna do a sub thing on the website and list underneath there, these are the committees that you're on. I know we don't have districts, we don't, but again, there's a lot of different things. You know, halfway through the year, you guys started working on the master plan. I know that absorbs a lot of time. But if somebody has a question, of course, they can always come and see me. I get a lot of people that come in, you know, throughout the weeks to see me, but they can just kinda answer themselves and say, oh, well, Matt's on that. Let me email Matt and see if he could get back to me, or Brian, or Janet, or Dominic. So I'd like to have it more where, you know, it's kind of your committee, and you kind of could report on anything, you know, like you do the baseball and everything else. So I'm gonna hopefully tweak it within the next meeting or two. But there's a lot of other things I wanna add. We've added a Facebook page, and obviously the website. Well, that's all great, but it has to be maintained. So if you go on Facebook or the website and it's the same thing and nothing's updated, then it's kind of pointless that we did any of that. So, and everything requires time. I know we all have other commitments, but we also made a commitment to the public, so. That's just what's coming down the pipe. And at this time, I'd like a motion to approve the change of our next meeting, which would normally be the first Monday, from January 2nd to January 3rd, same time, same station. To put the ad in the paper, I spoke with Kathleen today. Kathleen put the ad in the paper, but we still need a motion to approve the adjustment. So at this time, I'd like a motion to approve changing our reorganizational meeting from January 2nd at 7:30 to January 3rd at 7:30 here at Town of Mount Hope.
Make the motion as stated.
Second?
I'll second the
All in
motion.
favor?
Aye.
That proclamation, did you read it?
Yes,
You okay with it?
yes.
Yes.
Do you have this, Kathleen?
No,
So this is a proclamation for National School Choice Week. Whereas all of the children in the town of Mount Hope should have access to the highest quality education possible. And whereas the town of Mount Hope recognizes the important role and the effectiveness education plays on preparing all students in the town of Mount Hope to be successful adults. And whereas the quality education is crucial importance to the economy's vitality of the town of Mount Hope, and whereas the town of Mount Hope is the home to a multitude of excellent education options which the parents can choose for their children. Whereas many high-quality teaching professionals who are committed to the education of our children. And whereas School Choice Week is celebrated across the country by millions of students, parents, educators, schools, organizations to raise awareness the need for effective educational options. Therefore, I, Chad Volpe, and the Town of Mount Hope Town Board do hereby recognize January 22nd to the 28th, 2017 as Town of Mount Hope School Choice Week. And I would like a motion to approve the proclamation as
A question first?
Yeah.
Who sponsored this proclamation?
it is. It was originally started with the U.S. Senate, and now it's done through schoolchoiceweek.com, and there's 20,000 independent proclamations across the country.
I'll make that motion, approve the proclamation as read.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I second. I also received an email, ironically from my neighbor in Hidden Valley, 9 Briarwood. They moved in right before Halloween. Hidden Valley has traditionally had, I don't know, 500 or 600 trick-or-treaters per house on Halloween. They had inquired about street lights. I have no idea. I was gonna actually ask you, Dominic, if you could at least, I don't even know, we start with Orange and Rockland, like, just to see what it would cost, what,
You would actually have to make another budget line.
oh, absolutely, it would be a district.
And it would have to be a light district. You can ask the village what it costs, it's actually a lot more expensive than you think.
I'm sure that it is,
But yeah, you would start with Orange and Rockland, we could make it with Orange and Rockland.
and just see what it would cost to put 10, 15 lights in there or something.
You're looking at every other pole or every pole.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you,
huh?
I mean, Paul, you've been through there on Halloween.
It's-
You're not supposed to drive a car through there on Halloween. I mean, literally, if you come home with pizza, you're not making it in the development. You get come home early because the development's paralyzed.
What do we
But
pay for, we pay for one light behind the police station, so whatever that is, multiply that by the amount of the lights.
What about
So-
solar lights?
Where the light-
Plenty of developments put solar lights on poles.
I don't know that, I mean, listen, I think if you polled the people in there, I don't know that the majority of the people want it. I said we would do the preliminary, like, let's look at a few options. But, I have no idea.
We can call the village and ask them who their contact is with Orange and Rockland for their light district, and we can start with that.
As long as we've been there, I've never had anyone ever say anything about streetlights, but it was emailed, so.
You know, they have a lot of trouble when lights go out, get them in there to replace them and repair them.
Mhm.
Sometimes it takes months on end.
one of the times up at the old school, well, you were with me when Orange and Rockland just started taking a light down, right? That was like,
Yeah, they found out that, I guess the school doing their audit found out they were still paying for the streetlight, so. they-
we were up there for something else, all of a sudden we see this bucket truck
So,
coming.
that's why it's a lot darker up there, because they've cut that light as soon as the auditor found out they were paying for it, so.
Listen, I'll praise Orange and Rockland in the aspect of streetlights, Dominic, because I've had streetlights out. Matter of fact, 3 of them going up to 11. You go online, they have a website, you go online, type in the poll number, literally within 24 hours, all 3 of the lights were fixed.
Really?
Yeah, so I gotta tell you, like, and I know that's been brought up at village board
They've
meetings
changed
before.
their system then, because
Yeah.
years ago it
You don't
took
even
forever.
talk to anyone anymore, you just put the poll number in online.
We can call our, I mean, I can give you our government relations rep too, who probably can handle the whole thing for us.
Okay. The
That's
next
the guy you
thing,
speak to for all your Orange and Rockland stuff?
oh, Eric?
Yeah,
Eric?
Grant, Fuentes, right, Grant's the other guys, yeah, Fuentes, Eric Fuentes.
Next on the list, every year we usually, well, I think every year we just approve it. Federal prison needs, the approval to, in the case of an emergency, to be able to use the senior center. This is something we've done every year, however, every year the board must vote on it. We'll be reimbursed from the, federal corrections in the event that they ever need it for any period of time. However, I received an email, unfortunately, I don't have it up here with me, from the gentleman up at the federal prison, asking once again to be able to use the senior center as an emergency facility if needed.
I already know the answer to what I'm gonna ask, so if someone rents that for a wedding on a Saturday, and there's an emergency at the federal prison, are they kicked out?
We'll marry him down here.
Well, it wouldn't be the marrying part, it'd be the party part.
He's got the cake and taking
Yeah,
pictures.
well,
That
or
would be
they
the
have
omen
a
that you
couple,
shouldn't get married.
A couple got married.
a couple hundred
That's a good
uninvited
point,
guests.
that's a sign right there, that's true.
a sign,
Yeah.
federal government took the building over.
So a motion to approve the facility use for FCI Otisville for 2017 in the event of emergency.
We'll make the motion.
Second,
Second emotion?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A motion to approve Stephen Hayes effective, what's the effective date?
What would you say,
Pending his drug test and stuff.
yeah, pending the passing the drug test.
Pending the passing of the drug test as a part-time, non-competitive police officer. I'd like a motion to approve the hiring.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second the motion?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, year-end budget modifications. Again, there were issues with, our accountant getting everything that needed to be to me by today, so I'm going to, didn't we still have another one then?
You have a, one from highway, but that's for the CHIPS money.
Yeah. This one as well.
Okay, so my year-end budget modifications will not be done tonight. I will hope to have everything done for Tuesday. But, again, there were budget mods that have been done for the last, month and a half, 2 months. And they aren't done on my sheet, because Kelly hasn't done them, so I don't have accurate numbers to know what has to get moved from where. So I should have that by Tuesday. And I just don't wanna do a budget mod, and then I was off by 13 cents, and we gotta do it again, so I should have everything for everyone by Tuesday. But the budget modification for highway, do you wanna read that one, Kathy?
Sure. Increase revenue account DB 3501 in the amount of $19,549.86. State aid CHIPS and increase improvements account DB 5112.2 in the amount of $19,549.86. This payment is from the PAVE New York program instituted in the year 2016 in the state budget.
Thanks, Kathleen. A motion to approve the budget modification as read.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Have it. A motion to approve the sale of the case loader for the price of $32,000. Do we have a full name, or should I just say Cornell?
He didn't give me the full name. He said Bob from 4-H.
Okay, so a motion to approve the sale of the loader for $32,000 to Bob from Cornell Cooperative.
Cornell's good.
I'll make the motion to approve the sale.
Second,
I'll second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Supervisors report. As you can see on the supervisors report, we're still in pretty good shape. We don't have December's numbers yet, but going into 17. A motion to approve the supervisors report for November 2016.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second motion?
all in favor?
Aye.
That's all I have for you, Reggie. Yeah, that's all I had that one time. Paul? Good.
The surplus and destroy, are you
Oh,
not
I
doing that?
skipped it. Thanks, Kathleen. Motion to approve surplus and destroy of a computer monitor and the battery backup. It doesn't work. We had the power failure down here, and everything is sitting on top of a file cabinet in his office. So it's definitely to be destroyed.
I'll make the motion.
Yes. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to pay the bills.
I'll make the motion, we pay our bills.
Second,
Second motion?
all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Public participation. I almost have a record.
You want me to get up? I wanna know where the lawyer is. Oh, yes, I do. I will.
Was this a trick, agent?
No, somebody made me come out here tonight, little birdie. So here I am. I was hoping that the lawyer would be here. But I'm not gonna ask the question that I was gonna ask him. Publicly. But I do want to know why, well, obviously, maybe you don't know either, but you requested information from the Mount Hope Fire Company. You are the town board. What do we do about that they didn't answer you?
I will follow up with an email, because it was a voicemail, I have to just put it to the side, because hypothetically, you could have got it, not got it, wrong number.
Right,
So I will follow it up with
okay.
a letter, and I won't be stressed until I don't get a response from the letter.
Do you know if you, as the town board, or the supervisor and/or need to, properly FOIL for information from them or not?
We do not, we have
Do not.
a legal contract, which clearly states upon request and/or 2 months prior to the year ending.
Okay, and do you know, what happens January 1st, as far as they're concerned? They stop serving the town, they're no longer serving
Do you
as a
mean like for
fire
a
company.
FOIL request?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I think they'll still fulfill all of their obligations that they have. I mean, they'll still be under the same New York State statute of a FOIL. I
They're
mean, I
still
think
in
they'll fulfill
existence,
it.
they just don't have a contract with us.
Okay, so when were there, we don't know when their dissolution will take place then?
If it'll ever take place, I have
It's
no
up to
idea.
them. They're the
Oh,
one
yes,
entity.
yeah, okay, okay. So as long as they're still an operating, entity or company, then they have to fulfill their obligation, is that what you're?
I believe they will.
Well, as
Yeah,
far as you
I
know.
believe they will.
Okay. Alrighty then. Thank you. I'm done.
Perfect. Any board comments? Matt?
No comments this evening.
You're still looking into,
Yes, the hydrogeologist that the town of Walk Hill uses. I spoke with Lou Ingrassia, the commissioner of Public Works for Walk Hill, and we are gonna try to set up a meeting where, you know, someone from the town can meet with, a member of Walk Hill and the, geologist team. Walk Hill uses them as a, he's on retainer, this firm, so what they're willing to do is meet with us to introduce and, you know, see if we wanna work with them. This way, we're not paying for someone to come down and really not getting anything other than a question and answer session out of them. So they're gonna extend a helping hand to us, so this way we can hopefully gather some information on the Indigo Water project the city and the county have.
I was told from Casey Engineering a few studies that they had done for Walk Hill. They didn't realize I was inquiring for some information, but because they had already done the work, they're going to send me what they have. I don't know how much it's gonna help us or hurt us, but it can't hurt to just get the information they had, Walk Hill had already paid them to do. What do you got, Ryan?
I have nothing.
Who you done, Matt?
Yes.
Me, I would just like to thank Paul for the stuff that he did for the investigation that went out on Old Mountain Road, the help that he provided to their investigators. And to Dean for going out and plowing for them and salting and sanding the driveway so they could get up their driveway. And, just wanted to say thanks. It was a pretty big deal, actually.
You guys all wait till I leave.
It's funny because they tell you absolutely nothing. They just came and said, by the way, we're seizing the property for 48 hours. Have a nice day. But they would talk to him, they wouldn't talk to me.
Wow.
Yeah, Dean did quite a bit of help.
Yeah,
He
did
tried-
a lot for 'em.
Tried to get their machine working, and he did some plowing, sanding.
We actually took care of 6 bags of garbage for him too, which I put into the dumpster at the senior center.
Which we're no longer paying for, effective January 1st. Good deal.
So that's a good deal. So we did a little cleanup for him, which it was pretty interesting.
All right. I will have the appointment lists ready. If there's anything that you guys are extremely interested in being on and taking off of, try to send me a text or an email, but quite honestly, I'm probably just adding to everyone because there's a lot going on here, but, Happy New Year to everyone. Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second,
Second motion to adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
A mess. I had to shut my door, I couldn't take it anymore. They,
Chief, I'll move this back where it
it
belongs.
took, I've been